On my kicker tonight, it has been almost entertaining to watch senior government officials and politicians pontificate about law and order, rule of law, and even the Constitution. The context, the inspired talk of law, order, and the Constitution appears to revolve around the unfortunate events of that rapturous and embarrassing day of by-elections last week, in which the country's capacity for impulsive, widespread disorder was put on display. From raised, I presume, moral pedestals, government officials and politicians have been decreeing wisdom with measured, self-righteous tones. To their credit, some of them have been stumbling on the bitter truth about the state of the rule of law and its application in Kenya.
We also must stop this hypocrisy with which we live as a society. We are good at this pretense. You know, we're very pretentious people in our country. You know, many of our people, and you see this even in public leadership, many of our people are just doubles. You know, people tell you one thing, they live another. They preach wine, they drink, alcohol. The horrible pretense that you see around. The truth of the matter is this: law enforcement does not begin and end with the police.
Now, that may sound like a shot in the foot, but Interior CS Fred Matiang'i perfectly summarizes the problem of the rule of law in Kenya. Its application, he says, is characterized by sheer hypocrisy. Speaking on Wednesday, Matiang'i accused the judiciary of failing to pull its weight in the enforcement of law and order. The Interior CS expressed frustration at the length of time cases take, the ritual of arrests and releases on bond, among other judiciary failings. While Matiang'i raises what some would consider valid concerns, the Interior CS speaks through a dark veil of what is seen as a rampant culture of defying court orders by government. In 2018, CS Matiang'i was convicted and fined 200,000 shillings for defying a court order to produce political activist Miguna in court. His sharp criticism of the judiciary is likely to evoke parallels of the proverbial speck and log in the eye. It has been a short 4 years for Matiang'i and other senior government officials whose opinion on the use of the police in politics has dramatically shifted between the 2017 general election and last week's by-elections.
Matiang'i kazi yake ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba kuna ulinzi wa kutosha siku ya uchaguzi kwa Wakenya wote.
I want to ask the IG and the police service. The Constitution is very clear that the police is an independent service, and therefore they must discharge their responsibility as required of them by the Constitution.
You have a constitution in the books, but that constitution is not felt on the ground. That's the great tragedy that we have.
Though in retirement now, former Chief Justice David Maraga continues to provide sobering perspectives on the importance of what he once termed fidelity to the law.
Time and error. There is no defense we have anywhere. It doesn't matter who is in power, whether it's your brother or it is who. There is no defense we have anywhere other than the rule of law.
If Maraga's simple advice goes unheeded, then the proverbial karma will submit her opinion. Even then, government officials and politicians may well keep stumbling on the truth along the way.
Impunity is the son of no consequences. Because if there are no consequences to your actions, you will breed impunity. Because there are people who have done this over and over and over again, and nothing happens to them.
Impunity, we should conclude, eats its own children. That is my case.